Hey everyone. So in this Matt talk, we're going to definitely get into it. We're going to talk about what is the best martial art for self-defense. So this is a very controversial topic. This is a lot of, there's always, good topic for debate. And so, yeah, we're going to get into it. Do you have any opening thoughts about this topic?
I mean, if it's self-defense, it's, we're talking about like you being attacked, right? Not like you're like somebody like bumps you and then you're like, I'm gonna murder this man. I'd for sure advocate for trying to be the bigger person and just walk away. Or if somebody has like a weapon or something, like the Joestar family secret technique, run away, get out of there, dude. There's no reason to try to lose your life over something stupid. I think. Even if pride's on the line, be the smarter guy.
I like that. That's actually really good advice. I think, we always talk about it in here, right? What's the best defense is prevention. If you can prevent a fight, is going to be the best line of self-defense for sure. There's, there's too many, unknown factors involved.
Yeah. People got guns, man.
Yeah.
The whole issue, you ran up on, and then you never know how many people are with. Things can explode quickly, and a lot of people are not ready for that, even though they think they might be.
For sure, I think it's important to be able to de-escalate situations and be able to walk away and be like you said. Okay. With that being said, now you're in a jail cell. And you have to fight, or you're on an airplane and you have to fight. There's no weapons. You have to get down. What's the martial art you're going to want to embrace in that moment?
Okay. I'm a little biased because obviously, but I think you need to have one thing for standing up, right? To be able to control distance, because that's what are you going to do when you're two people are in front of each other? They're going to be trying to kill each other. They're going to be throwing punches. That's what the first thing's going to be happening.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend some form of Muay Thai would be good. Kickboxing would be good. Even just pure boxing is still pretty good. You know what I mean? Just as far as the stand-up aspect. Then you want to have something on the ground, because every fight that has ever happened ever will end up on the ground at some point. And that's how it usually will end. So if you want to put them on the ground, I'd recommend wrestling. If you want to be able to detain somebody, restrict somebody, stop all of their movement. Jiu-jitsu is also very good for that. Jiu-jitsu is also very good for ending a fight, putting someone to sleep, breaking a leg or an arm. That'll usually end a fight most of the time, Wrestling could also be good for that, but then you're looking to start getting arrested for sure. If you start 5-point throwing people on asphalt, they're cops are going to have some questions. They're not going to put you in the car very nicely, I think. But I think, I think those things. I think for striking, Muay Thai, kickboxing, something like that, maybe even just regular boxing, then for a grappling art, you want to have wrestling or jiu-jitsu, I think.
Man, that's great answers. You know what I mean? I think if we're talking about a very specific one-on-one type of fights, I think having a little bit it's a yin and a yang, right? Mm-hmm. You want to have a striking martial art and a grappling martial art. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's going to give you the best chance at be able to defend yourself or, be able to apply damage if necessary, right? MMA is if you can only train one thing, it's okay, if I can only train jiu-jitsu, or wrestling or boxing or Muay Thai, what do you want to train? Just train MMA, right? MMA is that ultimate style to combine all the best.
MMA is fighting.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. Right. I feel for me, it's the top of the pyramid. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel there's tiers, right? To build the pyramid. And I feel the bottom tier would be, your wrestling, your, kind of boxing, judo, Taekwondo, like that's your bottom tier. This is just my tier system, right? And then the second tier will be your Muay Thai, your Jiu-Jitsu, and then your third tier on the top of the pyramid will be MMA. You know, to me, that's like the tier system. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's really important for you to learn both styles, grappling and striking, and then how to put it all together, how to blend it nicely, and how to like become like a complete martial artist. Does that make sense? Like really learn how to flow with both, how to interchange both is like MMA for sure. So in a one-on-one fight, definitely MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, judo, sambo, like all those are amazing. Even like I would say karate and taekwondo are up there too.
Depends, I think.
It does depend, but I guess my opinion is like when it comes to like those type of combat sports, like combat martial, like martial arts that we spar a lot in.
Yeah.
Like there are other martial arts. No offense, you know, to like those other martial arts. It's just our opinion, right? It's just like, you know, like you have like kung fu and Krav Maga and like some like Tai Chi and Aikido and like other things like that. Like I'm sure it's really cool. To be honest, I never trained those, but for the most part, the amount that you're sparring at a high intensity is very less in comparisons to what we're sparring in our sport combats, right? Because like we have a sport, everyone's competitive, everyone's sparring to get to reach the highest level of that sport because of how competitive it is. And that creates amazing conditioning, creates amazing like fight response, you know, like a whole like flight or fight. Like that's a real thing, bro. Yeah. That's a real thing. I remember like I had a altercation. I won't even want to call it a fight, but it was an altercation. It was like two people were about to fight, and it was like a adult and kind of like a kid, right? Oh, okay. And I'm like, man, I can't let this happen. It was the middle of the day in like my neighborhood. I was driving, and this car in front of me was like just driving in front of me, right? And then the kid on the bicycle like ran across the street, and the guy in the car almost hit the kid. Okay. And then the guy got out. He grabbed the kid, and this guy's like 50 years old, and this kid is like 14. And he grabbed the kid, and I'm like, I can't let this happen. So I pulled over, put the flashers on. My wife, my kid's in the car. I'm like, hey, just get ready to call the cops. And then I got out of the car, and I walked over to them, ready to do something. And I wasn't nervous. I wasn't like freaking out. I was very calm. I'm like, hey, this is about to go down. It is what it is. I didn't have any weapons on me. I just had my martial arts, right? And then he grabs the guy, and I'm like, and I was like, yo, hey, what are y'all doing? And I get involved, and I'm like, hey, and they just like both stopped, look at me, and they both just kind of went their own way. And that was the end of that. And just me being there, willing to like step in, willing to like come at them in a very confident, like, you know, ready kind of way. It stopped it. It was crazy, dude. It was crazy, man. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is the confidence that my martial arts that I train on a daily basis gave me to be able to do that. You know, I was ready for it to go down, and I was happy it didn't, and I was cool with when it didn't, but I was ready for it to go down. So I really think it's important to spar a lot. Whatever martial art you do, make sure you're active. You're putting yourself in uncomfortable positions and sparring, and I think that's really going to get you mentally and physically ready for those scenarios. I don't know. Do you think like the importance of sparring is going to get you ready for self-defense?
Absolutely. I feel like if your martial art is not doing active 100%, like staying at 100% level sparring, it is worthless, whatever you are learning, because now it's all theoretical, whatever you're doing. It's all pretend. You're pretending like if somebody comes at you with a knife, I'm going to touch his pressure points and shut his arm down and then spit in his eye and grab his nuts or whatever you're going to do. But none of that is going to work against anyone trying to actually attack you. It's completely unpracticed and made up. You're playing in fantasy land. I think combat sports is definitely the way to go because all of it is tested. All of it is tried. Things that don't work are going to get nullified and get removed. It's just like, what's it called? You see MMA, you know, first UFC ever. Their first fight ever was like this kickboxer versus a sumo guy. Sumo guy got kicked in his teeth and swallowed most of them. There's no sumo guys in the MMA currently. Why do you think that is? Because it got phased out because it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? It's just
Kyle's gonna get mad, bro.
yeah, it is what it is. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's not talking about you.
I'm not talking about you.
Sumo.
Kyle is learning jiu-jitsu and also doing striking. So that's entirely different. The other guy, just a sumo guy, you know what I mean? But that's just one example. Krav Maga guys, same thing. All of these other non-tested martial arts are all the same thing. I think if you want to learn a real martial art, it should be something that's done professionally at a high level. You know what I mean? And that way you know it works.
I have a question for you though. Okay,
What?
so like we look at someone like, hey, imagine like 100-pound woman trying to fight you. Do you think martial arts like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, that kind of stuff is going to help? Or do you think at that point she has no choice but to gouge your eyes, to like poke your balls or like punch your balls or whatever?
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like
before any of that,
that's a pretty interesting idea.
Here's
though,
the
right?
thing. I wouldn't let a person do that to me, is the thing. Because I'm fighting back, right?
Yeah.
So none of that would happen and it would be a one-sided fight. She should have a gun and she should run away is realistically what should happen. Also train, so just in case, if worse comes to worst, you have something to rely on. But, you know, it's not a perfect world. You're like, no matter what you do, if you're in a fight, you're probably going to get hit. You're probably going to get punched. It's going to hurt. You're not going to feel good afterwards.
And I guess the sport combat guys and girls we're used to
pressure.
Yeah, we're used to getting punched and kicked. And
most people have not got punched in the face, so they don't know. They have all of these ideas, like they be like shadow boxing in the shower or something. You know what I mean? I'm the toughest guy. You know,
I mean, look at us
in my suburb.
Look at us. We got punched in the face, slammed. That's how we
broken my nose, broken my hands.
Look at my nose. It's crooked.
Yeah,
it's crooked.
I've been through it. I understand what it's like to get hurt. You know what I mean? And continue. Most people do not.
That's the whole idea, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and still working through it, the whole fight or flight response. And I think that's the real thing that sets apart most martial arts from sport combat. I think sport combat martial arts is, in my opinion, is the way to go. That's what I think. Also, let me tell you this one. You want to hear an interesting thing? So guess what? I know like you can like bite me, you can like punch me and, you know, like pressure points and gouge my balls and my eyes and all that stuff like that. Guess what? I can do all that too. Yeah. I can also choke you. I can like, you know, slam you. I can
kick you in the head.
I can kick you in the head. I have all the same of those tools with the pressure points and all that stuff. And I have sport combat and sparring sport combat every day. So like, I just noticed like when people come in here from like, you know, other things like bodybuilders or other martial arts, they gas out real quick.
Yeah, they get
real quick because they don't spar on every day. I spar 10 rounds a day, man. It's not the same thing. You know, It's not the same thing. I think, okay, let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Multiple attackers.
Grappling is going to be tough.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. I'd probably lean more towards like a Muay Thai or something like that. You know, somewhere you can create some distance. And your goal should be to leave, right? Your goal should be to get away.
You can't. I think you're getting jumped in the prison cell.
Man, don't go to prison, first off.
Prevention.
Prevention. Yeah. Don't go to prison.
Yeah.
First thing. Second thing, if you just happen to be there, you know, protect your vitals, try to live. I think it's gonna be tough. Do what you can, but you're gonna probably get hurt real bad. There's only so much you can do realistically if you're surrounded.
I mean,
trying to create distance, you know. I mean, didn't Chael Sonnen get in a fight with like 5 people?
Yeah, and also
beat him up. Yeah, and he's a wrestler, so
yeah, you gotta be.
I guess if you're just good enough, you might be able to be all right. But
yeah, I mean,
if you're a regular human being, it's probably gonna be a hard day for you.
I would say, in my opinion, like, you don't want to, like, I don't think Muay Thai is the best in that scenario. I think boxing is the best in that scenario.
Yeah.
Quick hands, just to try and knock out people fast as you can. Just quick hands. Just like, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You know what I mean? If you do a kick, you're off balance. They're going to, like, someone's going to grab you. Someone's going to take you down. There's been plenty of stories of, like, I actually had a friend, when I was training, you know, I was a white belt. He was like a blue belt at the time. I'm not going to say his name, but he has his own school in like Texas. And he was at a club and he was fighting one guy on the ground and got kicked in the head and got hurt and went to the hospital and stuff. So like using your grappling against multiple attackers is not the best idea. I would say defensive grappling, like, like pushing them, making sure you don't get taken down. That's a good idea. But I would say when it comes to like fighting multiple attackers, if you're forced to fight multiple attackers, I would say letting your hands go, having good hands. And I think that's your only chance, to be honest. Okay.
Against multiple people, I think you're probably only going to get like 2 takedowns off, most likely, until you're going to be like surrounded.
And if you're on the ground, you're getting your skull stomped.
Maybe like blast double one guy, suplex another guy, and then you're trying to strike from there. I don't think you're going to be able to do that over and over and over again to many people if they're all attacking you.
I definitely think it's important to be well-rounded, right? But you also have to have technical judgment, and you have to be like, hey, what am I on a like airplane? I don't have much space, or I'm in a car, I don't have much space. Jiu-jitsu, bro, right? Like in that
against one person. Yeah, for sure.
You don't have like elbows and jiu-jitsu and that kind of stuff. So
if you just have wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and you just take a guy down in any one-on-one scenario, I'd probably give the edge towards that guy versus like anything else. If you can take him down and keep him down, and then you're good at jiu-jitsu, so you can do whatever you want there, the guy has really no hope against if they're untrained, not even a little bit.
We have a lot of different kind of people that train here. We have cops, firefighters, EMTs. We have like correctional officers. We have event security. We have a lot of people that deal with these scenarios. Electricians. A lot of like scenarios that pop up for them. My guys tell me all the time, oh yeah, I use this technique, you use that technique that you showed me. I'm like, to me, that's like the most like rewarding thing to hear as a teacher, as a coach, to be like, hey, one of my techniques I taught one of my students and they applied it in a self-defense scenario and it worked. And it worked. Yeah. It's really a really amazing. That's like, to me, like the most important thing in this, that I'm teaching you guys things that you guys are going to try to use in a self-defense scenario, and I want it to work, but all right, with that being said, all those other martial arts, do you think people that are training them, I think it's still better than nothing. I would say like them having the fighting spirit and them training, and I still think I would rather them try that than not try at all and just be a victim, right? I'd rather them, like, if they're going to train, like, Kung Fu or Aikido or anything like that, or Krav Maga or whatever like that, I'd rather them, if that's what they enjoy, I'd rather them train that than train nothing at all.
Yeah, I think it's good to get active and like things like that. I think there's probably like a good tier list you can make or something like that. Oh, for sure. Of like I'd probably put, Kung Fu is definitely better than nothing. Aikido, I'm not too sure. Anyone where the no touch knockouts and things like that, it is more harmful to you than beneficial. I think the Detroit urban survival, all of that kind of stuff, is actively more harmful to you than beneficial. I think this will get you murdered. So do not, because now you have a false sense of confidence instead of a good sense of confidence, because you can actually fight people. You have this made up, unicorn of an idea of how tough you are. And then now if you're probably going to put yourself in more dangerous situations because you think you're better than you are, and you're going to get yourself killed. So I don't think that everything is better than nothing. I think there's a limit to that. I feel like I'd give the edge to like any of the like solid martial arts, like karate. I'd give taekwondo that. I'd give kung fu that. I'd give all of them much better than being nothing. They know how to kick. They know how to punch. They know they know how to do something, versus like some of the goofy stuff out there will just get you murdered.
I do feel like
I probably can't say that word on YouTube, but
Nah, I mean, who knows at this point, right? Like, I do think certain martial arts are evolving. I'm seeing like Krav Maga use a lot of like grappling techniques in their teaching, Muay Thai techniques, like knees, elbows.
I guess it depends on the gym.
It does. I think that's probably the real answer. Depends on the gym. Yeah.
It's just like Wonder Boy, There's not like a lot of karate guys in the UFC, but he's one of them. And I guarantee the guys that he's training are probably really good at fighting. Yeah. Versus like some like one in like a mall somewhere. I feel like it's like, it depends. A lot of the gyms, it really depends like who you're learning from, how good they are, it's a lot of factors.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, did you see that video of Sean Strickland versus Detroit Survival?
You're gonna come here.
Yes.
Amazing.
That was funny.
That was a really nice example.
Falls into the cast.
Sport combat versus theory combat. Yeah, that was an amazing example of like how he just kind of like barely touched him and the dude flew back and fell into a cabinet. And I was laughing my ass off.
I guarantee that guy's so delusional. He was still like, well, here's what I would have done if he approached me. I would have used the counter to leverage roll and then threw a grenade in his mouth. And he would have died. I would have initiated my poison hand, hit him with a Denmark, and then he would have died in 10 days.
I guess, bro. But
Yeah,
hey, that was hilarious. I love that shit. That,
and all Sean Strickland did was like push him.
yeah, you just like literally like stood still, pushed him, and like
the guy just falls like a baby.
yeah. Oh man,
Like a toddler learning to walk.
All right, how do we sum this up? Best self-defense, prevention.
Yeah, get away.
Get away.
Yeah. Don't put yourself in situations where you're going to get beat up.
Yeah. yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Be an adult, use your words.
Yeah.
If those don't work, leave the situation. If you have to fight, make sure you're training. Something useful.
And for all the people out there that are thinking just carrying weapons is the solution, I would say not every time you're going to have a weapon. You're not going to have a weapon on an airplane or a prison cell. You're not going to have a weapon when you're, maybe you lose your weapon, the bullets run out. Maybe you have
Snorkeling.
yeah, you break your knife. Like you like stab someone and then like it breaks.
Or someone just takes it from you.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah, someone could just take it from you.
There you go.
What are you going to do now?
Yeah. So it's important. But I do think it's important to train with weapons. Knives, guns. Do we train with weapons in here? No, we don't. We do sport combat in here. But like, do I practice shooting at a shooting range? Yes, for sure. For sure. We're gonna, you know what I mean? So, being well-rounded martial artist. So I would like you one day, you know, to like, learn MMA, learn Muay Thai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Learn how to shoot a gun, learn how to use a knife properly. You know what I mean? So as a well-rounded martial arts, you always want to have the mindset of like, hey, I want to learn a lot of different skills. And then from there, you can filter out the good ones and the bad ones. Okay. Yeah. But I would say conditioning is really important, and having like sparring time in some type of martial art is really important as well. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. That's where I'm going to stand on it. I'm not Mr. Know-it-all. I had a few self-defense scenarios out in the real world. I'm sure you had too. I used to be a bouncer at nightclubs in LA. I'm sure you said you were security before.
Yeah, we're security. I never had a fight doing that, but just like when I was a little maniac walking around, definitely. Yeah. Telling you, the wrestling and jiu-jitsu definitely helps. Or just for me, my entire life it was just wrestling. And that definitely helped for sure.
Oh yeah, dude, do not mess with this man. He will body slam you on concrete. It would not be nice. Okay,
I'm a gentle soul.
Until you're not.
A sweet guy.
All right. Any closing words for the people?
Believe in yourself. Train hard. Take care of your body. Don't be getting in random street fights like an idiot. That's what I think.
And then I think I do have a closing one. Okay. Run, Forrest, run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get away.
Yeah.